Welcome to The Watching Dead, the officially unofficial podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 5, titled Go Getters. I could have sworn there would be a Black Keys song somewhere in this episode, and they failed me. They failed me. On multiple levels, they failed me. Although, I have to say, it wasn't a bad episode.
It must sting really bad because this is the first time The Walking Dead's let you down.
Right.
I mean, the first time, it always stings extra hard.
My hopes had been so high.
You know what? I was really encouraged and emboldened by this episode because they successfully told not one, not two, but three separate arcs simultaneously. It can be done.
Yeah, they really they're talking about the writers when they say go getters because this is a pack of go getters. They're like, fuck this single storyline. We're doing three. Right.
I was thinking over the weekend because I forget what got me on this, but I was talking to somebody and we were talking about the storyline structure, and I was like, I hope they're not doing this because, like, telling a singular focused story has got to be like easy mode for writers, right? Because it's much harder to pace an episode when you're cutting back and forth and not losing the plot. And
yeah, it's trickier.
But on the other hand, it does feel like it overall bogs down the storyline when you're doing, because it takes 4 or 5 weeks before you get back to your meticulously crafted character moments. Let's be generous and call them that.
Right.
And everyone's forgotten. Like, think of the Tara situation and the Heath situation is burgeoning, where like people are like, wow, it's been so long since we've seen them, and so long since. I mean, are we going to get an emotional reaction? Like,
I don't know.
It's so funny because a lot of the justification they use for delaying the deaths until next year is because they wanted to make sure the emotional reaction that the cast and everyone had, is not distant from our reaction. And it's weird that we get to the hilltop and like Glenn and Abraham are just buried. No real time to deal with like how that, when all happened and what all conversations Sasha and Maggie had. Tara and Heath are going to come by, and surely they're not going to stop the episode to let them process every fucking thing that's happened. I don't know.
Well, that's the difficulty of this kind of ensemble cast, right? Because if you do have a lot of people that the audience could potentially care about, then it becomes a challenge to keep them all relevant at any given moment during the season, whereas a show like Breaking Bad with a near singular focus is a lot easier to do that with, right? You can have an episode with Jesse entirely, and then an episode with Walt, and then you've covered the whole spectrum of characters.
If you've got a half dozen episodes throughout the entire run that people care, and that's probably being generous. That's throwing Skylar and Hank,
but they're all kind of wrapped up in Walt's
sure
storyline.
Yeah, no, I mean that's easier, but I think it's a challenge. But they got to find a way because this episode felt in a lot more moving forward.
Yeah.
Just because they were trying to keep these balls in the air, and I thought it looked good on them.
Yeah, the pacing felt very much better this episode. I still, have a couple of things that I think are subpar about this episode, but overall, I was pleased with it.
All right. Do we have anything else, or should we get right into the episode proper?
Let's do it.
Dr. Carson, who is the obstetrician / doctor at the Hilltop, welcomes Maggie and tells her uterus is partially separated. That sound. Anytime you're tearing placentas and uteruses, it just and you got a baby inside you, that seems like a bad deal. He reassures her that she hasn't lost a baby. She gets to listen through the heartbeat, which is a nice moment. But he sternly warns her to take it easy, and that she's gonna have to stay at Hilltop for the duration because
plays the entire Eagles catalog for her. Just take it easy, Maggie.
And she's going to have to stay there for the duration because she's got an at-risk pregnancy now.
I thought this was a pretty big moment for Maggie. After losing Glenn, this would certainly be a terrible thing to happen to her, to lose this baby.
Yeah,
which is the only thing that she would have left of Glenn, aside from a pocket watch that she discards at the end.
and you can't go back home. Like, you're a pregnant woman who's lost her husband, and your community is now being separated from you because of the fact that you're going to have to stay bed rest for 7 months.
Yeah.
But obviously she goes on to make the most of it. Sasha shows Maggie to Abraham and Glenn's grave, which she's hastily erected at some remote location in Hilltop. Sasha gives Maggie Herschel's watch, which we've jokingly referred to many times as the keys to Maggie's vagina, which Maggie decides to leave on Glenn's grave. She's hanging him up. No more. She's done. Glenn was her everything. Sasha reaffirms that she's on board with the staying idea and that she'll join them. Jesus then brings in some lettuce and parsley, I think, for a bouquet. He says they're blue flowers, but they are neither blue nor flowers.
Yeah, I don't...
You brought garnishing, Jesus.
It's for calm and release. Is he trying to like release the spirits of Abraham and Glenn?
Nobody wants to be hunted and haunted by Mother Dick.
No, God, no. And the orange flowers. If he had put orange flowers on there, you don't even want to know. Don't even ask.
Nope.
I gotta say, there's a disparity here between what Glenn had and what Abraham had. Glenn had a keepsake. Abraham just had a cigar.
and a broken piece of tail light that he put on a necklace.
Fair.
I mean, he didn't have nothing.
And I'm amazed at how fast Sasha is willing to just burn that thing. Just light it up. Like, she's no Will Smith. Even Will Smith waited for the nuke to be in place.
Right.
She's just like, episode 1 after his death, let's do it.
Yeah, it's celebration time.
Yeah.
Gregory comes in and demands an explanation for the failure of the Alexandrians' attack on the Negan saviors. He wants to know that if they knew about the deal that they took, which that's kind of settled something I probably should have already known. The fact that the saviors were all the saviors that would have known about the duplicity of offering up a fake Gregory head were all massacred.
Yeah.
So there's no way for Negan to know that this was something that the Hilltop was involved in. He also explains that they don't bury the dead, they burn them for some kind of pseudo, I guess, religious, philosophical reason.
Yeah, to move on is what Jesus later says.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's kind of, I'm more of a crematory type of guy than a graveyard kind of guy, so I kind of take a shine to Hilltop a bit. He also reminds everyone that he's been recuperating from a stab wound, too.
Oh,
he's not at full strength.
This fucking writing. I've been recuperating, too, Jesus. You remember my stab wound? You remember it, huh?
Oh, the one you got
back
in the side?
A couple episodes ago? You remember that?
Was it through your palm and your feet, too?
It's
you don't go up and get Jesus when stab wounds are on the line. That's just asking to lose. Come on now. Yeah. And he says that correctly. Here's the thing. Like, I'm not going to be on board with Gregory for the rest of the episode, but the way he's sizing up the situation is dead on correct and makes me I think we're supposed to think that he's an inept leader, but he's saying everything that's true. You promised us one thing, we paid in advance, you're royally fucked up, and not only did that, but you fucked up in a way that's now leaving us to risk for reprisal by your just mere presence here.
Well, as Maggie says later, the problem is not that he's an idiot necessarily, he's a coward.
Right.
And I think she nails it.
But on the other hand, like, I don't think this is de facto cowardly behavior. This is, and also, what would Rick do? Mm-hmm. Like, after he's been traumatized by Negan at this point, he would just shelter two people that fucked him over on a deal. Like, I think,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying that Gregory's not a complete dildo.
Yeah, I hate this guy.
I'm just saying that they're doing a bad job in this scene of getting me off his side.
They're doing a bad job of characterization. Like, okay, maybe a second reference to him forgetting names or not giving a shit about people's names would do it. They do it like 5 times in this episode, and it loses its charm. Like, the gag is good. Mm-hmm. This guy doesn't fucking remember names. Okay, great. Maybe lay off the gas a little on that.
Okay. He also finally relents to letting them stay a single night because, Jesus implores him to think of the women and the unborn child, and I guess he turns soft at the last minute. Back at Alexandria, Carl is having a hard time with darts on account of his depth perception, and also having a hard time accepting this is the new reality. They work for Negan.
You know what? This is interesting because I was prepared to call bullshit on Carl's dart throwing.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Because, you think when he loses an eye, he loses his depth perception, and that would cause the darts to go either high or low, not left or right. But apparently,
I went left back to right. I'm thinking like you would just go short.
Right. Yeah. Right. You'd miss up or down.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
But so I went back and I looked because we got an email from Edwin D who was talking about this.
Eddie D.
And I looked up, what the symptoms of losing an eye are. And essentially, they're exactly that.
One of
you
them
lose
is sucking
depth.
at darts.
One of them is sucking at darts. The other is you lose your depth perception. The other is lack of peripheral vision, apparently, like a 10 to 20%
yeah.
peripheral vision.
It's a whole half of your head missing now.
But if you go back and you look at Carl shooting guns in seasons 3, 4, 5, 6,
right,
before he loses his eye, he's actually right-handed. So that's why he's missing. He's actually cross-dominant now. So, like, he's trying to throw with his right eye and his left hand.
Why did he switch hands just because he lost his eye? I think that's like going back 2 steps.
Right. I think it's because he doesn't know any better. I think like he's trying to compensate, and nobody's fucking telling him.
Okay.
Maybe nobody even knows.
Wonder because
show.
I thought I would have picked up on the fact that he was a lefty before now.
Yeah, he's not.
Interesting.
He's becoming a lefty, and like I looked, and you can correct your stance for those sorts of things, but
right.
I don't know. It was something that The Walking Dead actually did really well that I was prepared to call bullshit on, and then I looked into it further, and I was like, okay, yeah, that works.
Well, there you go. Michonne then gives Rick a proper goodbye that lasted 17 minutes and resulted in this episode getting an M rating. No, honestly, they just had a really passionate kiss.
Yeah.
Carl, after soaking all that up, asks why she didn't go with his dad, and she said, I have to figure things out. Like how we can do this, if we can. And Carl says, yeah, but the problem is Dad's wrong. And she goes, I think he is, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Fair adult response that Carl gets.
Yep.
I liked it. They continued to have great chemistry. Everyone, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Enid then tries sneaking out, but Carl finds her. She needs to go see Maggie and make sure she's okay, and she's going to walk to the hilltop if necessary. Carl says, I'm not saving you anymore. And she goes, oh, that's what you did for me in the armory? And she said, well, you made it back. It didn't seem so tough. And he says, I'm not talking about that. He's referring to saving her from the trauma of seeing men get their heads bashed in.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm sorry you had to see that. And he goes, I'm not, which makes this whole conversation pretty fucking pointless. And I'm grading it on a teenage curve, so it's not really annoying. But Jesus, dude, like, what are we even trying to argue here? Who's right? Who's wrong?
Yep.
You know,
and then not 10 minutes from now, you're going to go save her again.
Like, you didn't lock her in a cabinet because you didn't want her to see Glenn's head bashed in because you're not a fucking fortune teller, number one.
Yep.
Number two, if you saved her for something that you think that a person needed to see and live in this world, then did you save her at all? Like,
well, maybe he realizes that he's a little fucked up. And that seeing these things would have an effect on her that would push her more in the direction of him, and he thinks that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
He wants to preserve her innocence, and I know, like, maybe it should be up to her to preserve her own goddamn innocence. But that's what
thought,
Carl,
sure.
I think, is going through his head in this scene.
Right.
And, you know, it's a fucked up teenager here.
Well, not only that, but
stuff.
Rick has got a little bit of a control issue as well.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me or blow my hair back to find out that Carl would try to assert that same kind of control over someone he's growing an affection for.
Mm-hmm.
Enid, I just don't think is the type that's going to brook it.
No.
Well, I mean, she kind of is a little bit wishy-washy on that more than I would like for her character to be.
She's also a teenage girl, so we got to cut her some slack. But she does have an indignant, strong streak in her.
Yes.
Which I like. That's one of the things about her character that makes her
She's
compelling.
talking to a 14-year-old in a sheriff's hat, man.
I know.
Never forget that, Enid. Never forget that you're talking to a 15-year-old maybe now with a sheriff's hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha then insists that Jesus has to save Gregory's mind, but he's not in charge because he's not a leader, even though he does a lot of leaderly things in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't understand the people that say, I don't want to lead because I'm not a leader. I mean, it just always seems as like I want to. It always seems like it's from people that want to throw bombs and not put forth solutions, you know? Which that doesn't seem like it's Jesus, so.
No, I think, I'm imagining there's something in his past that has proved to him that he's not a leader.
Yeah.
Or at least got that idea in his head, and he doesn't want to repeat it.
He got sent on a mission by his old man, only lasted 33 years on the job, and died ignominiously. Yeah, something like that in his past, maybe?
Yeah, maybe like similar to Abraham. You know, if you throw Abraham in a family situation, he's probably like, whoa.
Tied up his son on Mount Sinai and tried to sacrifice him, and God says, that's not what I want, you idiot. Why would you think
wrong
that?
Abraham, I think. But he probably wouldn't want to be part of this sort of family again, or thrust into a situation where he has to make those decisions for a family. So
yeah,
I think there's more to Jesus. We just haven't seen it yet, and I'm interested in what that might be.
Yeah. So some of this dialogue, you throw in the name Jesus, is just funny. Mm-hmm. At one point, she asks, exasperated, "What do you want, Jesus? What do you want this place to be?" And he says, "I just try to help people." And she says, "You got to do more." Jesus then hands over the broken taillight necklace that Sasha made from Abraham way back when. Mm-hmm. Maggie walks in, asks him why they burned her dead, and he says it's the reminder to just keep going, that the only reminders we need is each other, that the people existed, which makes sense. If you don't, I mean, that's the thing about a graveyard, right? You walk through a graveyard and 99.9% of the graves mean nothing to you.
Sure.
So it's like, it does seem like and I'm not judging anybody because everybody's death and burial customs are their own damn business. But the way I look at it is, yeah, if everyone that remembered you as a person is dead and gone and doesn't remember you, then they're not going to visit your grave either.
That's true. Yeah.
So
I imagine,
unless somehow you achieve posthumous fame,
right?
If you're a Edgar Allan Poe, was he even buried or he just died in a gutter? Got to go visit a gutter in New England to pay homage to him.
Probably.
I don't know.
You're gonna have to go visit a pyramid-shaped sarcophagus to get with Nick Cage after his death.
Maybe it's that you look for the crow that's saying "Nevermore," and that's when you found Poe's grave. Anyway, Maggie comes in, and we already talked about that. Sasha, after Jesus leaves, Sasha has the opinion that Gregory's an idiot, and Maggie says it's worse, he's a coward.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's right, because a coward is smart, so you can't really fully anticipate all the ways they're going to fuck you, whereas an idiot is like usually consistent in how they're going to fuck you. You can kind of account for the weaknesses of an idiot, but a coward, who knows?
Yeah.
Enid's riding along the road on a bike, and she's ambushed, kinda, by a walker.
Real far away.
And Carl shows his hereditary driving talent by poorly driving a Lincoln Town car and plowing a zombie in both the front and flipping in reverse the back. Kind of a massive overreaction to a single walker that Enid is more than capable of taking over.
But you gotta imagine, like, you're a 13 to 15-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You somehow get hold of a car. I don't know who's letting you take that car out, but you got one.
Right.
And now
again, who is responsible for keeping Olivia? Olivia, you are shit keeping track of things.
Yeah.
Do not issue Carl a Lincoln Town car, please.
How much fun would that be, though? That'd be awesome.
You put in your like Matthew McConaughey.
What?
He's the Lincoln spokesman. This is a Lincoln Town car.
This is not a town car.
It is a Lincoln Town car.
I thought it was.
Maybe it's a Crown Vic. I thought it was a Lincoln Town car.
I thought somebody said it was an AMC Pacer.
No, oh shit. No, that's the post-apocalyptic sawed-off muscle car that Maggie backs over the tracker. Or the tracker.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I thought it was an AMC Gremlin, but then again, I'm not
I don't know
an expert in the finer points of AMC's cars.
Funny that they're using AMC, though.
Is funny.
Pretty good.
It is pretty funny.
And they're all pieces of shit.
And they're also backing and destroying it. This might be a sign of distress from the filmmakers.
Could be.
Where was I at? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm still... Okay, yes, it's impressive to go and kill your girlfriend's zombie, but even more impressive would be to pull up and be like, hey, get in, let's ride to the hilltop in style.
Oh, yeah, I guess then they have to walk. He destroys that car, doesn't he?
Yeah, then they get I mean, they wouldn't have gotten the roller skate, so I guess there's that.
Yeah. He also crashes into pillars, these pylons that say drive slowly, which I thought was pretty funny.
I mean, at least he didn't hit the zombie and then flip the car end over end 6 or 7 times and have the whole community risk going out to rescue him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, remember those days?
I do.
Saviors open up the gates at night and the hilltop, and they set fires. They do a whole bunch of shit that seems like it would make a lot of noise and get the lookouts alerted, but whatever.
Yeah, where are the lookouts?
Yeah, like, they opened the gates, came into the town, and set up a bunch of bonfires, and no one knew until they started blasting Beethoven.
Did they drive that car in? Did they push it in?
I'm still saying, like, if you had any kind of competent lookout, they would have, like,
Oh, yeah.
as the gate started slowly swing open, they would have said, hey, what are you doing? And as they started assembling the bonfires, they'd be like, there's no scheduled bonfires tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know. The hilltop, not exactly. I mean, they got to be more. What's the opposite of inept? Ept. They got to be more ept than Alexandrians because, my God, how could you not be? But I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
And then they start funneling zombies into the complex. Maggie and Sasha spring into action and escape to the roof of their trailer while Maggie agrees to sit still for the sake of her baby. Spoiler alert, she's going to find a way to be badass and also sit down.
No, spoiler alert. She hauls her ass up onto the rooftop
true.
through a fucking sunroof.
Has to jump down.
Has to pull herself up. She's not being lifted like Sasha
And she doesn't have a ladder either. She's
No.
also got some ramshackle
How did
stairs,
she get down? How'd she get up?
tables and chairs arrangement.
This placenta's now 100% ripped, man. There's no way that can be good for you in her state.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Jesus then pops down, and Maggie shouts that Sasha's alone down there, that she has to be saved. She doesn't. She's awesome. Maggie then takes charge, ordering people to close up the gates. They don't. Sasha and Jesus are total badasses. Jesus, in particular, is doing his brand of post-apocalyptic parkour.
It was kind of cool.
Kung fu action.
Yeah. Like the guy they got to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the actual actor. You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
And he's solid.
He's cool.
He knows what he's doing.
It's got. I mean, not only is he super athletic and able to do these these sick moves that the comic book Jesus does, but he also just really looks like a Hallmark family production of Jesus of Nazarene. I mean, he's very, very Jesus looking.
This would have been like 40% cooler though if it was Michonne instead of Sasha. Because how badass would that be? Kung Fu Dude and Sword Lady.
Oh yeah,
going at it.
That should be a spin-off series. Kung Fu Dude, like just take Into the Badlands and Walking Dead. You've already got to mix together, man. You don't need two shows.
But Maggie pulled it out of the fire here.
Yeah,
figuratively.
She finds a tractor somewhere inside the city gates.
Well, we saw it in the background. It was behind the graveyard where they buried him. Yeah.
I didn't see it before, and I'm like thinking, why would you need that big of a tractor to farm land inside the hilltop? But
that's fair.
Whatever. I mean, I guess you wouldn't park your tractor on the outside either if you were plowing crops and stuff.
Maybe they don't use it for farming, but it's there.
It's just for zombie rolling over.
Yeah.
in case of zombie haul ass. Unfortunately, they did have this cool post-apocalyptic gremlin. You said as a pacer.
I that's what someone told me.
But it had all the windows like all barred up, and it had like a cool stainless steel middle finger that's mounted to the wiper. That would have been pretty funny to shine people on in your rear view.
Is that a hint that the blacksmith of this town actually did this?
Probably. Who else? But she starts backing over basically everything, which I admit is kind of awesome.
It was fucking cool.
I don't even know how they did the tractor backing over to zombie effects, because it looked for all the world like she was running over real people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she wasn't, but damn.
Maybe. You don't know that.
And then she also, for whatever reason, backs over the gremlin. I felt like that was unnecessary.
Well, she's trying to stop the music, right? Like, crunch the fucking music. And it works. So I'm with her. Like, I thought this was awesome.
Okay.
Maggie just going to town with a tractor.
Can I make
she
a
gets
confession?
zombie kill in a
I've seen
week.
this thing 3 times, and I just now realized that was the Neganites' car. I feel so fucked. Yeah, no, I thought just someone had a really badass gremlin in the town square, man. I didn't make the connection that that's the thing to play in the music. I thought they were trying to get to that for safety.
She says it. Sasha says it.
I know she says a car.
She says there's music playing from the car.
This is probably the stupidest thing I've ever admitted to on the air.
I think it's hilarious.
But yeah, no, I'm like, well, that's someone at the hilltop's going to be pissed. The blacksmith especially. God knows how long he slaved over that middle finger.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, Jesus just left his car running. Stereo pumping.
Jesus would drive a gremlin. Of course he would.
They have Jesus, and they also have Beethoven. You didn't realize that, but there's a Beethoven in this town.
Is there?
Yeah, he's the guy listening to the classical music.
So Carl and Enan are talking as they're walking to the hilltop, and he says to her that he didn't look away when it was head bashing time. And she asks why. He goes, I knew that I'd need to remember it, so when I had a chance to kill Negan, I wouldn't have a choice to presumably back out. And she says, yeah, you do it for the ones you loved. And then he says, I think that no, you don't. It's not for them. It's for yourself. Or they have a debate about that. And then he apologized for locking her in the supply room, and she says, I didn't need to see it, which that's the part, like, I kind of wish that she'd push back a little bit. Like, I understand that you want to, be conciliatory towards him, but I don't know, not needing to see it. Why didn't you need to see it?
Yeah. I mean, they're
you either
both
need to see it or you don't, man.
They're both trying to feel each other out, not upset or disappoint each other, and it's awkward. I mean, that's what teenage relationships are, right? They're awkward. You're testing each other. You don't know how this works.
You're employing the Attack of the Clones defense, I see.
Well,
this is how teenagers talk. They talk about sand being coarse and...
No, they talk much more vigorously than that.
And killing sand. So as long as he doesn't kill a whole camp of sand people, she's in the clear, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Gregory isn't moved by any of the heroics on display the previous night. Jesus insists that this is proof that they need to stay. Gregory says, does some reverse psychology on him, says, fine, Jesus, why don't you take over, make all the calls, fix the fence, deal with the people, deal with the saviors. And that seems to back him off, and then he says he's going to say their thanks with a set of rhubarb preserves, I think, before sending them on their way. They have this running joke that he can't remember the woman who makes the preserves. He can't remember Maggie's name. He can't remember I's name.
Does he remember his own name at this point?
I think he thinks highly of himself. So yes,
yeah.
So then Sasha is essentially trying to beg for Maggie to be able to stay, and says, "Is there anything we can do?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, we could talk about it one-on-one." Maggie comes back quickly to go to hell. He gets all fake defensive about the fact that he was indeed trying to, probably pressure her into having sex for saving Maggie's life. And then he goes, you know what, forget the preserves. At the same time, the saviors motor up, and he commands Jesus to hide them in the closet.
Yep.
So we got an R. Kelly mixed into the Beethoven now. Enid and Carl discover roller skates, and it was a really nice moment.
Yeah, they hit the small things in life jackpot.
Yeah.
And that'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, if you haven't roller skated forever, and now you got a chance to roller skate on this empty highway in a zombie apocalypse with your the person that's currently making you tingle.
Yeah.
Why not? I thought it was a nice moment, a nice scene, and well done all around. But also,
Indeed,
not a ton of stuff to analyze here.
Enid needed that, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. She was not looking happy during the beginning of this scene.
It'd be funny because they're not wearing helmets. It would be funny if one of them slipped in front and they just bashed her head in.
And then got immediately back up as a walker and
no,
attacked.
You die from head bashing. I think you just stay dead, right?
Can you imagine walkers on roller skates? What does that look like?
For entertainment, I think somebody should hold a walker down and put roller skates on both its hands and feet, and then put them on a hardwood floor, and then play yakety sax. It would at no time would it fail to cheer you up, right? That's just your sitcom.
That you just have a room.
You just have a room full of zombies on wheels, and anytime you need to pick me up, you just go and watch them. Negan's right-hand man, Simon, pulls up to the hilltop and demands to talk to Gregory alone, and informs him that he's not sure if he's heard, but all of the guys that they used to deal with are dead. He admires a painting that Gregory is awful proud of, and uses this as a segue to talk about managing, and how that he is a easy to get along with person. And this is kind of a refutation of our conversation we had the week before, where what is the proper tone to take with a savior? Mm-hmm. If you just roll over all the time, you get this situation where they increase the provocation until you got to stand up for yourself, and then it's too late. Or you play the game that Rick plays, where he plays it pretty close to the bone, and any one time someone get their head bashed in. Mm-hmm. Stressful, no matter which side you pick. But yeah, that's essentially, he accuses them of making the guys that died get soft, and also Gregory is. I wish Simon had said something like, "Look, either you think I'm the dumbest man alive or you actually are the dumbest man alive, because this plausible deniability bullshit you're trying to pull is not flying.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Simon had actually articulated something like that.
But it does fly. I mean,
it does. And
it does
also
work.
It emboldens Gregory. He thinks he's got him by the balls now.
Yeah, I think Gregory's fooling himself.
Well, of course.
But it does.
But I guess if Simon was like,
see him through it at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what happens the next time he comes back? He's going to start on his knees and just go down from there.
Yeah, I actually think...
well, poor choice of words. The situation will only spiral further down from there.
I think probably the best part of this episode is that guy. You called him Simon. I didn't pick up on his name.
I think that's what his name is.
But
I could be wrong. It could
the
be
milk
that
bottle
that's
guy
his,
from Westworld.
I was going to say that could be his name from Westworld, because he's playing two very similar gripping characters in both series.
Right.
So but I think it's Simon.
Yeah, he's having a moment in the sun.
He
isn't
is.
Simon
Sans.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I get a vibe from him that is very dangerous, that is scary, and I'm digging it.
Yeah, no, you're kind of like tempted to call him a lightweight version of Negan, but I don't know that he is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just doesn't have any reason to really show you that he's not at the moment.
Man, the actor's name's great, Stephen Ogg.
Stephen Ogg?
Yeah, it's like a caveman actor name.
Yeah.
Og take roll. So what's going on here? He wants to know at the end. He says, "Look, the people." And I did. So we said that Negan doesn't know the Hilltop and Alexander colluded, but is Simon personally suspicious of that? Because
seems like it.
He talks a lot about, we found these people who killed our people now working for us, and they're some real go-getters. Mm-hmm. This could be just reminding Hilltop that you need to step it up, because we're going to have, you might be challenged for your supremacy. It seems like maybe they play all these communities off each other.
Yeah.
Like, Hilltop gave us 8 pigs last week. What do you got? Steel middle finger? That's cool, but it ain't 8 pigs cool.
Yeah, so I do get the vibe that he doesn't personally necessarily believe they had nothing to do with each other, these coincidences. Like, the actor's doing a lot to sell me on that, because he's, despite what other actors in this show tend to do, which is just try to use silence as adding some kind of emotional weight, he's actually letting things happen during the silence. He's looking at the guy, trying to read his face. You can tell that he's trying to give him an opportunity to confess something to him.
Is he giving him anything? Because I'm not sure if you're confronted. Like, yeah, Gregory's a Weasley kind of guy.
Right.
But that's just kind of the way he is.
Oh, I meant the Stephen Ogg guy.
Yeah, no, but...
okay.
Right, I'm just saying, like, is he getting anything for his fishing efforts?
It didn't seem like it,
no.
I guess. In the end, he got a box of whiskey.
Right.
Box of scotch.
Right.
So
thanks to Jesus. So at the end he says, "Is there any hitches I should be aware of here in this community?" And Gregory reveals that there are, and he goes to the closet that he thinks that Maggie and Sasha are hiding in, but instead Jesus has. So Jesus clearly took him to a different closet, but did he put the alcohol in there?
I hadn't considered that. Maybe,
but I mean, because I thought that when we were doing the live watch last night, but then when I looked at it again this morning, I'm like, well, this whole area is full of saviors. How would Jesus kind of wheel a whole several boxes full of scotch into there? I don't know. But yeah, someone switched, or maybe he forgot about it, or he just thought the women would be there and no one would pay attention to the box. But whatever, the central thing is the box of high-end scotch. And Simon shits on it, says, "I'm a gin man, but never mind, because Negan loves this shit." And also, I love it. It's like, hey, I'm going to tell him it was my idea, not yours, because I kind of want the headline on this. Mm-hmm. So, and then he forces him to kneel, and he takes his painting and half of his stuff. And I assume he's talking about like a Negan half.
Yeah.
So it's more like, 0.75% than it is a true 50-50 split. Or all the good stuff. Like, is he going to leave that obstetrician any medicine?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
He might be basically useless to her.
Because it does seem like that Negan didn't take the Hilltop's medicine the first time, like or they've had they were able to have quite a bit of medicine and whatnot, and maybe that's just something that Negan did special for Rick's group, because I'm getting the opinion that Rick's group is the first group in a long time that's hurt him that bad.
Yeah, definitely.
So he came down like the wrath of God for that reason.
And, they talk about the other saviors, the group that Rick killed, being soft or whatnot. So maybe they didn't do the proper inspection like they would have with the town.
Like they weren't squeezing him as hard as they could.
Yeah.
Or it could be things just drying up in this area. So, it's kind of like that Robin Hood, animated Robin Hood deal, where it's like they want more and more taxes, but the people, they start off poor, and they're not getting any richer. So
where Robin Hood's the fox?
Yes.
That one?
Yes, he did. It's the one that was had the controversial yiffing scene.
Okay.
This late 70s, early 80s weren't ready for animated fox sex. They just really weren't.
No.
Some would say that we're not ready years later. Enid and Carl finally arrive at the hilltop, and they find it's been overrun by saviors. She intuits that he wasn't just out driving and wasn't even coming to rescue her. He was on a mission to go find Negan. Mm-hmm. And Enid quotes Carl's wisdom back at him and says that, killing Negan wouldn't be for would be for us, not for Glenn or Maggie or Abraham. And she says, well, if everything goes right, how do you get away? He says it doesn't matter, and she says it matters to me. And we have a teenage wasteland romance official. They're kissing foreheads and nose bridges, and they finally make their way to the lips.
Yeah.
We just got hormones raging coming off the screen.
Yep.
And
good moment for the teenage couple.
It is.
I
actually think it's cool that Carl's getting like a full-on adult plot.
Yeah.
And Enid by extension, because I thought her character was always interesting as well.
Oh, yeah.
She says, please don't go. He says, I'm not. I'm going home. And she says that you're a liar. And he totally is. Totally is lying to her. Why? Mm-hmm. Why bother? Why bother with the lie when she says that she knows?
I don't know.
You're lying.
Yeah, that's a little silly, but
people do it. People do it all the time. So Gregory explodes on Jesus and said, I told you to hide him in the closet. And he correctly says, this is a closet. And Sasha tries to get in a word edgewise, and he goes, honey, I'm talking to Jesus, which I found, again, sublimely funny.
Right.
And Jesus says, hold up, and he starts to lay down the law, says, she's staying, all of them are staying, mm-hmm. and unless you want me to make this public. And he says, you're not going to be in charge anymore, and we're all going to be one big, happy, dysfunctional family, which the hilltop doesn't seem dysfunctional except for Gregory.
Yeah.
I think this will be easier to accomplish than Jesus thinks.
I think so. I'm glad to see him stand up to Gregory, because Gregory's a shitbag, and a cowardly shitbag at that, and I don't think Jesus is any of those things.
You know what the shittiest, baggiest thing he's done?
What's that?
Steal Herschel's watch off. He's a grave robber.
You're right. You're right.
He's a grave robber, for God's sake. That's pretty fucking low, man. Necrophiliacs and grave robbers are like the lowest of the low in their society.
Yep.
So she steals back Glenn's watch and punches him right in the face and says, this is our home. And
103% torn now.
I'm not Marcia or Dear or Honey. I'm Maggie Ree.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my torn uterus talking. So, anything else to say about this?
No.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed this stuff.
Yeah, and then so Jesus makes a speech about he was, the Gregory was just in charge when I got here, and I guess it just happened. I couldn't imagine anyone else. I found this unconvincing.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's more to Jesus than meets the eye.
I wish I knew more, because is there like something where maybe he was a good peacetime kind of leader, but as soon as the saviors showed up, it was all bad? Because I could see this guy being, a fake it till you make it guy like Ezekiel, but he just didn't have enough time for that to fully set in before the Negan came. He was forced to play, a sniveling shitbag. I don't know.
Yeah,
but the guy still, I don't know. He's the kind of guy that steal a pocket watch off of someone's grave. Like, I don't think there's ever any hope for this guy now that I think about it.
Yeah, this guy's a de facto leader. He's not an actual leader.
Yeah,
Gregory. He's lucky to be in the position he's in, because he'd be cast out and or useless,
right,
if he wasn't the leader of this community.
De facto, of course, from the Latin meaning the fucker.
Right.
He's the fucker leader.
So he's trying to be anyway.
Right.
He's eyeing everything that comes in the room.
And he also says, Jesus also says, I couldn't imagine anyone else in his place, but I can now. And Maggie has the nerve to turn around and say, who?
Right.
Oh, you're so adorable. You don't know what a badass you are.
Yep.
So she leaves to go visit, I think, Glenn's grave again, and Sasha says to Jesus, because Jesus is apologizing that he couldn't get Gregory on board sooner, because if you want to make it up to us, find out where Negan lives, and Jesus is like, can do.
Yeah.
Then Sasha says something that I don't understand. I want to leave Maggie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because that she knew Maggie went on that big spiel about not wanting to be responsible for anyone's death, and she knows this has to, like, maybe they don't do anything with it, but finding out where Negan sleeps is step one to overthrowing him, and she knows that's important and needs to happen.
Yeah, step one to killing him, too. I mean, it feels to me like there's going to be a squad of people trying to kill Negan pretty soon. Like, Carl is going to be trying to kill Negan, Sasha... Rosita.
Maybe Maggie. Yeah, Rosita's already trying.
Right, she's getting bullets ready. There's going to be a gang of people coming after him.
That would be interesting that, like, it's not a top-down decision like Rick making everyone decide to do it. It's like a bottom-up, a grassroots execution.
Right. Could very well be.
I don't know. Jesus says he doesn't like it, and Sasha says I don't either. But I kind of see that.
I think Maggie would want to go with her. Is the problem?
Well, oh, really?
Yeah.
I think Maggie and Rick are on the I don't want anyone else to die because of me bandwagon.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to be kind of managed around instead of leading from the front.
I mean, that is also true. Definitely.
Yes.
I just think she saw Maggie spring into action with a fucking tractor this episode after she told her to sit like a dog.
And she did. She sat on that probably air conditioned and spring loaded tractor seat. Some of those tractors are fucking nice, man.
I know. Yeah.
Pretty
nice. You need air conditioning out in the hot sun all day. Come on.
I mean, you don't need it, but it probably makes the job a lot easier.
You either need that or you need like a gallon of water. 2 gallons of water, maybe.
So Maggie then finds Enid, who has tied balloons to what she thinks is Glenn's grave. And I like this kind of like subtle humor that they don't really call attention to. Enid,
it's almost nice when they don't call attention to some of their jokes, isn't it?
Yeah, just let it play. Yeah. Let it play out there. Enid treats Maggie to grilled cheese and Tom. Maggie confesses to tractoring over a boy in high school's Camaro, which, like, what?
That's actionable.
Yeah, that's I mean, I get, it's not like that's unheard of in musical context. Like, I there's probably been a Shania Twain, a Dixie Chicks, talking about fucking up their boyfriend's ride when they step out of line, but still.
That's most of the time it's like keying it or deflating a tire.
But flattening with the tractor seems a little extreme.
A little bit. Depends on what he did, I guess.
That's true. Maybe he flattened her car with the tractor first. It was a
revenge turnabout.
It's a revenge tractoring. Sasha comes home and is offered dinner as well because she made a pile of grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
And asked, why are there balloons in Abraham's grave?
That's great, yeah.
Which was really good. Maggie has now adopted a hilltop burial theory and says we don't need remembrances because we don't need to mark graves because we have us. And she then gives Enid Glenn's pocket watch and says these are now the keys to your vagina. Don't give him that Carl. He's got weird hair.
Yeah.
And he wears a sheriff's hat. This is just
sucks
me. Just take it from experience. This is the kind of guy whose Camaro you're going to be backing over with a tractor. Don't want to give him the pocket watch.
So why does she adopt this philosophy so quickly?
I think it makes sense. I really do. Like,
okay.
And she's in a situation where she probably can't mark Glenn's grave because why would you do that? In fact, maybe you should probably take down the stuff and smooth over the dirt because no one can know you're here. To me, like I still think the whole diary of Maggie Rhee is on the table. Like she's going to have to be hiding from the saviors, her and Sasha.
No,
they're
definitely,
recognizable figures, so they're going to be fugitives within Hilltop.
Yeah.
So I think the whole like getting over the fact that you can't have big monuments and markers to people is something that A, makes sense, and B, is going to serve her stealth capability.
I guess so. It just seemed like she was gung-ho about keeping that pocket watch, and then this very much strikes me as Gregory's philosophy, not necessarily Jesus. Like, he comes into this community, Gregory's like, we burn our dead,
and
he's shouting about it.
And I rifle through their pockets.
Right. It just, I guess, surprised me that she so quickly turned face, did an about face on that.
We end the episode with Sasha sharpening her knife and smoking a big fat cigar, something that she's taken from Abraham's playbook. Jesus stows away into one of the Negan's vehicles and discovers that Carl got there first. And Jesus also takes a big swig of the premium scotch and then pours it out the back.
Must be a gin guy.
Well, what I'm thinking is that's the bottle that seemed to really impress Simon.
Well, it's the one that Gregory grabbed, right?
Right. Well, that's the one that they were all looking at. And, like, that's the bottle to stick out in your mind. And this guy's going to personally present this stuff to Negan. Maybe don't drink the bottle that was out of the box and it's going to be easily recognized. Oh,
he's going to fill it up with urine.
Yeah, and if he'd spit in it or if he'd pissed into it, that'd make sense. But just drinking it, throwing it out the like it's missing. What the hell? That's suspicious.
What could he put in there
that would pass for fine scotch?
Here's what I thought. Well, it doesn't have to pass the sniff test.
Through some peat at the very. He'd have to get a big old block of peat and piss through it if you want even hope to pass off.
That happen.
Yeah, I guess
that's good. So I thought he was just going to dump it all out and just piss him off. Like, what would they think at that point?
I guess they would think that one of the saviors had probably stolen it, and then someone would probably get their heads bashed in and be the wrong person. Ha ha.
Yeah,
but if you're wanting to run a stealth mission,
Discord.
Step one, leave no trace, man. Don't leave any obvious evidence that you were ever there.
Maybe they're going to fill it with nitroglycerin.
All I know, what Westworld crossover, eh? Yep. All I know is that Jesus stowing away with Carl to go investigate the Savior Complex sounds like a lot of fun.
It does.
I'm on board with this. And that's the episode.
All right. Do we want to get to some feedback?
I presume we have feedback?
We do.
Hey everybody, here to tell you about how you can support Bald Move by joining up for the club. And I'm doing that as a kind of commercial for the upcoming activities we're going to be doing for the club. Last year, for the month of December, we did a lot of cool stuff. We called it the 25 Days of Bald Move Christmas, and we composed an original song. We drank alcohol from a booze tree every day.
Yeah.
And then the shots we should have taken on the weekend, we took all before we did our lunch with Jim and Aaron on Fridays and got really lit up and then took to the cameras and mics. And it went better than expected. Everyone seemed to like it. Mm-hmm. This year we're up in the odds. We're doing the Badass Bald Move Christmas. Because we're shedding light on some of the non-traditional Christmas choices. We're going to do a live watch of Rocky IV,
which I didn't know was a Christmas movie, but apparently he fights Drago on Christmas Day.
Sure as shit does, and he trains a lot up in the snowy mountains of Russia, so that's going to feel very atmospheric and Christmas cheery. And we're going to do a live watch of that. We're also going to do a podcast, and we're then also going to do the lunches, and they're going to be all spiced up because we got the a whiskey advent calendar from the mastersofmalt.com, and every 30 minutes in the live watch, we're going to take one of these fine whiskeys down and drink them. So it will be an increasingly interesting experience. The podcast will be as you'd expect, and then we're going to drink whatever we have left for the week on lunch. Probably doing a lot of show and tell with the Christmas stuff. The next week is going to be Die Hard. Week after that is Jingle on All the Way. We're doing the same treatment of live watch, podcast, and drunken lunches for all three. And then there's also going to be a surprise fourth Christmas movie the week of Christmas coming out. So if you want to get in on that, you got to be a club member. This is stuff we're doing over the holidays just for our club members. Club.baldmove.com. Not only to support independent podcasting and keep the bits flowing from the Bald Move headquarters, but you get a lot of extra stuff, and that's just a sample. If you go to club.baldmove.com, we have some free examples of some of the stuff you can get in the club. You also get ad-free feeds, VIP access to the forums, just a bunch of stuff. Check it out, club.baldmove.com.
We start off with Nola, who says some stuff about previous episodes. We're going to cover that quickly. Daryl was a lot weepier in Alexandria than he was when we last saw him in Negan's compound. Why? I think Daryl is ashamed to be back in front of his friends. He doesn't know if they blame him for Glenn's death like he blames himself, and so he's racked with guilt that he may not think he deserves to be with them. I think that's partly why he doesn't plead his case to Negan to stay in Alexandria. He believes he deserves his punishment. Thoughts?
That seems sound.
Yeah.
Also, if
Daryl is a guy who punishes himself.
Also, maybe he's trying to he's finally learned his lesson, and he's like, "Look, I'm not going to give you anything to make you think that you have to save me, because I don't want you to save me and get anyone killed." Like, you imagine if he had really played into all that stuff, maybe, because Rick's kind of on a knife edge about going on along with this stuff. At any day, he could be like, "Fuck this, let's just mount up and try to kill Negan again," and maybe Daryl doesn't want that to happen, but. I like that take as well.
She says also, I guess there were no repercussions for Daryl's escape attempt from Easy Street. Ugh. Yep.
Apparently not.
Guess not.
Apparently not.
Jenny D says, weren't sure if you saw the commercials, but Corey Hawkins? Who is Corey Hawkins? Is starring in a reboot of 24 on Fox. Pretty sure he's not going to make it back with Tara. Oh, it's the guy who plays Heath. Another African-American, the victim of the apocalypse. If I were Seth Gilliam, I'd start looking for other work now. Also, we might not have seen them in the season yet because Alana Masterson did have a kid after the end of season 6, so she probably wasn't ready to shoot when they started production on season 7.